Hi everyone! This week's recipe is going to be a steamed chicken or fish. I'm going to show you guys how to do both with a ginger scallion sauce. If you have been on my Instagram, you know that I have been eating this a lot lately because one, it's super easy, two, it's very healthy, and it's so delicious. It's something that is a comfort food for me, and I hope that it might be a staple for you. So let's begin. Now, you may have guessed it, our specialty equipment that you're going to need today is a steamer basket. So you could use a steamer basket or any kind of steamer setup. For the chicken, I'm going to actually put it right into my bamboo steamer. I'll also show you guys how to spatchcock it. And then for our fish, I'm actually going to place it onto a plate and then into the steamer. And we're going to cook the fish actually on the plate. So we'll need that. We'll need a pan to cook our ginger scallion sauce. And we'll need a little blender to just blend it all together to make it even easier. Now, to start this dish, we're going to have to do a couple of things. If you are going with a chicken, you're going to want to clean and season our chicken first so that it has time to kind of dry brine before we go to steam it. Dry brining is very important because it marinates and it makes the meat way more flavorful. So for our chicken, I really prefer anything air chilled. Air chilled chicken is my favorite because it roasts the best, and I find that it just has a more intense chicken flavor. So because we're using very few ingredients here, you want to use really good ones. So to clean our chicken, we're going to need to take this out of the bag, and then we're going to season it and rub it with some salt. Open up my chicken. I'm going to pull out the giblets. This little giblet stuff. I'm not using it today, so I'm going to just toss that. So I cleaned my sink out before I put my chicken in, and now I will clean it thoroughly afterwards. And you want to work with some like cold water. We're just going to wash our chicken. And now I'm going to just rub it with some salt. I know that we're not seasoning this. We're just kind of giving it a salt scrub. And this is just to get any nastiness, if there's any, out. Just abrasive enough. Clean off the skin. Okay. Now we're going to wash it off. You can kind of see, I don't know if you can see the little bit exfoliated off of the chicken. And now with kitchen shears, I'm going to spatchcock it. I'm going to cut the spine out. So I always have like kitchen shears that come off. So I can always run it through the dishwasher and no bacteria sneaking and hiding in the middle. You'll see there's this little piece here, and that's the chicken butt. I love saying chicken butt. So we're going to go into this is going to be the spine right here, and we're just going to take some kitchen shears and we're just going to cut on the side of the spine to break off the chicken. You might have to start from like, the top and the bottom. And then once you meet right where the thigh meets, you can cut it off, and look, it just comes through really easily. And then I'm going to go on this side, do the same. And this way we can open the cavity and we can really season from the inside. Now, I'm going to just rinse this again. You don't want any of those bone particles. And if you're a stickler for chicken fat, you can also trim that. It's going to kind of melt away when we cook it, so it's fine for me. Now my chicken is split in half, and now I like to lay it forward like this, and then I'm going to break up the breast so that it's flattened. All right, so that is our little spatchcocked chicken. I have it in the sink for now, but I'm going to put it onto a sheet tray with a rack, and then I'm going to season it. Now, whenever you're dealing with meat, and especially poultry, you want to make sure you sanitize everything. Now, to season our chicken, we're going to need a combination of salt and sugar. To every tablespoon of salt, we're going to add a tablespoon of sugar. And that's just going to balance out the flavors. So here I have 2 tablespoons of sugar and 2 tablespoons of salt. I'm going to rub it all around. Start on the back side first. But you want to just like rub it like you would if you're making like barbecue ribs. Don't forget the wings. And some people will marinate their chicken, and you know, this is just a base recipe. This is what I like. I'm just gonna rub this chicken all around. And now I'm gonna just place a rack underneath it so that it dries out. We want it to kind of dry out so that all that salt is kind of concentrated in, and it actually, even though it's drying out, the skin will be a little bit drier, but it will actually make the chicken more flavorful and juicy inside, more concentrated in flavor. I'm gonna put this in the fridge. Now that our chicken's marinated, we're going to work on our sauce. We're going to start it, but then we'll cook it whenever we steam our fish. I have a cup of neutral oil here. I have 1 bunch of green onions. We're going to really use the green part for the sauce, and we'll use the white side for our steaming. And then some ginger, like a 4-inch piece of ginger. We're going to peel it and we're going to put it together. So I have my oil here, 1 cup of oil. I'm just going to put that to the side. And then I'm going to start with my onions. So we're going to slice our onions. Does not have to be perfect. Okay. Now, for the sauce, I like it to be very gingery. You could also cut it in half if you want, but this is a skinny piece of ginger. I'm going to use it up. And these tops we're going to save for later when we steam our fish. So for ease, I'm just going to put all of this green onion right into my oil. Now to peel our ginger, it's easiest if you use a spoon to just kind of scrape off the skin. So the spoon is really nice for like these little crevices here, because then you could just take it and peel off the skin very easily. There we go. So now we're going to just chop this up. Slice up your ginger. They don't have to be super thin, they just need to be sliced up. And the more you kind of chop this up now, the easier it is once we go to blend it, because we're just going to pulse it. I have my ginger here. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that in. So to this, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of sugar and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We're going to just throw this into our blender and we're going to pulse it. I'm just going to go. You want it to be on low speed and you just want it to stay chunky. If you still see like little bits of green onions, then you're good. And that's all there is to it. We're going to just, I'm going to put it back into my container. See, if you had immersion blender, you could just stick it in and blend it, but you still want it to look a little chunky. All my ginger is kind of broken up into little chunky pieces. To keep it longer and to make it a nice vibrant green, I always cook mine. And this is kind of how I make any type of like herb oil. And so we're going to cook this, and I like to cook it coinciding with the fish, because I want that sizzle, the oil to kind of just like sizzle in the last minute in our fish dish. So for our fish, I just got a white flaky fish. I usually like something a little bit more fatty. Like today I have sable fish, or also known as black cod. But honestly, any fish works. Any white flaky fish works. I keep the skin on. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place it into a bowl like this. So before we go to steam our fish, we're going to cut up some ginger and some scallions. So with the scallions, we want to cut the roots off. So I'm just gonna, and we're just going to slice them long ways. And sometimes it's even easier to just kind of do it by hand. Tear them up by hand. But if that's too hard, you can just cut it on a bias. So you have this like shredded green onion. We'll do 3 for our fish. All right, so we have some of our green onions. I have my fish here. We're just gonna put a little bit of the green onions underneath the fish. We'll do a little bit on the bottom, and then we'll put a little bit on top, so that when we pour that hot oil right on top of it, it will kind of scent everything. I'm just going to slice up a couple of slices, thinly slices of ginger, and I'm going to lay that right on top of my fish. You're going to season this with just a tiny pinch of salt. We're going to make a soy sauce base salt to go on top of our fish. So just a pinch of salt, and then we're going to lay on some extra ginger. Some ginger to really scent the fish. And then we're going to slice some ginger now for our topping. I'm going to julienne this because, as you guys probably know by now, I really love ginger. So I'm going to just finely make like little tiny sticks of ginger to go on top. So I have my shredded ginger. I won't need all of this. I'll use some of this for my chicken. So I'll have these 4 scallion tops for my chicken. Maybe a little bit of this ginger right here. But this will be for my fish. So for this fish, you're going to need a little sauce. We're going to steam this. We're going to drain off any extra water that might end up in this pan or plate. And then we're going to peel off the ginger. We're going to drizzle on our soy sauce, but we need to dilute this. We don't want classic soy sauce. So I'm going to do a tablespoon of soy sauce, a teaspoon of sugar, and then a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of hot water. It's just to dilute it a little bit, make it a little more delicate. So now we are ready. So we have our soy sauce, we have our fish, we have some shredded, just a tiny bit of shredded green onion and shredded ginger. We also have our ginger scallion sauce that we have not cooked yet. So we're going to heat this up while we're cooking our fish. So now that we have our mise en place, I have my kitchen set up. So I have my steamer basket here. It is boiling at full speed. And I have a skillet here because I'm going to now cook our ginger scallion sauce. Our fish is going to go into the steamer for 5 minutes. So you're gonna lay the dish right in. So you want to make sure you have like a heat-proof plate with a lid. I'm gonna turn this one on just like this. Now I'm just gonna go ahead. You want to preheat the pan. You want to preheat the pan just until it's hot, and then you're gonna pour your ginger scallion oil over it. It's gonna make a little sizzle. And we're just gonna bring this basically to a boil. I know it's oil, but it's going to get a really nice vibrant green. But you want to just have this cook for about 30 seconds. 30 seconds to a minute, just until you could see the oil is a really nice green color. Now, once it gets to this really vibrant green color, you're going to want to pour it into a container so it doesn't continue to cook. Heat-proof container. Make sure everything is heat-proof. So I'm going to add just a little bit back to my pan. I just didn't want it to continue to cook. So I'm just going to add just a little bit back just for our fish. So after steaming, we're going to add our soy sauce. We're going to add this little bit of scallion and ginger right on top of the fish. We'll lay it right on top. And then we're going to heat this up and we're going to pour this over. I'm going to turn that off. Turn this off. And now I'm going to take my fish out. You can always check to see if your fish is cooked. A whole fish would take a little longer, but you can kind of see how it's starting to flake right there. Any extra liquid, you just want to kind of, pour it out. We don't want any extra of that fish liquid. Our ginger scallion is going. So I have my oil here. I'm going to move things around so it's easier to see. So I have my fish here. Let's get that center. We're going to go ahead and pick our ginger right off. A great indicator to see if your fish is done is you could see it's starting to flake. If it flakes, that means it's most likely cooked. You could also stick like a cake tester in. As long as it's hot all the way through, it should be done. But now, if you have any extra liquid, I didn't really get very much liquid in my plate, but if there's any extra liquid from your fish, you want to kind of drain that off. We don't really want that. That's going to be kind of like a fishy liquid. So what I'm going to do is just have my chopstick here, drain off any extra liquid, put that right in the middle, and now I can finish my dish. So now that we've taken the ginger off of our fish, we can now pour our soy sauce right over it. I'm going to give it just a stir just in case if there's any sugar that's not dissolved. I'm going to pour our soy sauce. I like to pour it right over just to season everything. You won't need, that's like a lot. You don't need that much. We're going to put on top of our fish our julienne ginger and our scallions. Just like that. Look at that. It's already so pretty. Look at that. But we're going to finish it off with this super hot ginger scallion oil. So that's just going to echo all the flavors that's already in there. I'm just going to pour that right over it. And it does this really pretty thing with the green oil and the soy sauce. It breaks it up. Let's see if this is cool enough. But look at that. Look at that. Let's give it a taste. The fish is always like so perfectly flaky. Dip it in some of that soy sauce. These chopsticks are really... That's so good. Now let's get to our chicken. So now that we've gone over the fish, I'm going to show you guys how to steam the chicken. So my chicken is here, it's been drying, and now I'm gonna put it in the steamer basket. I switched my wok over for a very big pot because the chicken does two jobs. So when you're steaming the chicken is cooking. We're gonna steam it for about 30 minutes, and then we'll let it sit with the steam off or the flame off for about 15, just so that it can rest but stay hot. And then the water underneath actually becomes a very delicious broth. So then that could be, we'll season that afterwards, and then we can serve that with our chicken. Okay, so for my chicken, I have some julienne ginger, and my shredded green onions, and my shredded ginger. Now I'm going to take my steamer basket, just like this. You just want to keep it nice and plain. Now I'm going to add my chicken that I've had marinating with that salt and sugar mixture. Just going to tuck that in just like that. I'm going to add my scallions. I'm going to add some to the bottom. I'm going to add some to the top, just like this. And the ginger as well. So I'm just going to rub all of that. Look how pretty that looks. So once we have our chicken in, we're going to cover this up and we want to steam it for 30 minutes, full steam. I have my boiling hot water here. Now I'm going to just place this right onto my hot water. We want to keep this on high heat, and we want this to cook for 30 minutes on high, and then we're going to turn it off and we're going to let it sit there for 15 more minutes. That way the meat gets to rest, and then it will continue to just stay warm here. So 15 minutes is up and Tofu's freaking out in the background. Sorry everyone, I hope your dogs don't get triggered. But here is our chicken. Oh my god. Tofu, you're ruining my video. You're ruining my video. Tofu. Stop it. Stop. Stop. Anyways, here is our chicken. Now we can take it off. We're going to put this on our table, my cutting board here, and look at that broth. Just going to give it a little pinch of salt. And we can cut some onions, or cilantro would be really good in this broth, or you could keep it simple. But I'm just going to heat that up so it's nice and hot for us once we plate our food. Look at that. And now we're going to carve some of our chicken. And it just wants to fall apart. Like, look at that. Doesn't even want to stick it together. You can tell the meat is done because you could see how the meat is just kind of pulling away from the bones. And now we're going to just cut this up. Now, it is ideal and very normal for us to chill this. You want to chill it. When you do chill it, you'll see, I don't know if you could see in the underneath the skin, but there's like little pockets, and that's collagen. And so what my mom would do, or like restaurants would do, is they would chill this, and what would happen is the collagen would set in the meat. and it just makes it even extra juicy. So I'm only going to carve half of this chicken now, and I'm going to chill the other half, and you could always refresh it by steaming it when you want to eat it. So I'm just going to cut this off, and you'll notice just even from touching it, the skin is so sticky because it has so much gelatin in it, and it's just so good for you. Look at how the meat just falls off the bone. I love the wings. The wings are my favorite part. I'm just gonna steal a piece. But like, I can't even cut this because the meat is just so succulent. Okay, I'm just gonna cut this side, and I'm just gonna carve. So I usually cut my chicken, cut it down till you feel like it can stop, and then I open it up. And it's just hot. So you don't have to cut it when it's so hot here, but for time's sake, I have it here. All right, so that's my chicken breast, but you can see it's just oozing. It's so juicy. I don't know if you can see all that. But I have my chicken here. I have my leg quarter, as well as my chicken breast. So amazing. I'm gonna put this to the side. Look how juicy that is. I'm gonna just flip that over. I have a little bowl here of rice. Put that to the side. Now I'm just gonna cut. So, just gonna lay my breast right here. Look at that. So I have my chicken here over rice. And the first thing I want to put is this ginger scallion sauce. I'm gonna put that right over my chicken. And I put a little bit over my rice as well. And fried shallots. Let's put that like right over the rice. And don't forget our little soup. I'm gonna probably add fried shallots and a couple of sprigs of cilantro. So here's our steamed chicken with our ginger scallion sauce over rice with some crispy fried shallots. And here is the soup. And you can serve this with rice, with lettuce wraps and herbs. My dipping sauce is always the ginger scallion sauce, but you could use whatever you like. But I hope you enjoy. Cheers, everyone. I'm going to get in on this. Look at that. I don't know if you can see how juicy, how glistening that chicken is. No, like barely any chew. Gotta get it with the ginger scallion. And a little bit of rice. Cheers, everyone. I'll see you guys next week.